Hello, welcome to the Fast Track Business Builders. Karina and I will probably be dancing between host mode because our brains work differently. So we're using the gifts that we each have to try to come together to make things simpler, faster, better, stronger. We've got some incredible resources that we've been blessed with in the This Is It team, which is in Australia now called, part of that is Arise Team Global. And as those resources build within Arise Team Global, we're sort of leaning on different resources based on how we respond to learning. So as today's outcome is to qualify for Bali. So we're all here, right? Because we want to go to Bali together. Is that what? Well, yeah. Awesome. And so we have a period of time to kind of qualify, and we can make that happen really fast with the right spirit of intent and with a little bit of planning. So I'm going to work through how I'm going to do it. And when I shared my strategy with Karina the other day, she so gracefully put it into a document because all my stuff's in my head. She was able to put it into a document, which kind of became a bit of a step-by-step. So it's a work in progress, and you feel free to add anything to it. But when I sat down and said, if I did the last few times what I now know, and so what I now know, I can put into practice and I can help others and say, if I was running for this again, which I am as well. So we're all running for the Bali incentive trip, which will more than likely happen at the end of April. The dates haven't been released. But we have from the 21st of the October, which is passed, to the 23rd of February as our qualification period. So if we're able to sort of get a certain number of outcomes on the board, then we get a free ticket, one free ticket or two free tickets to Bali. Now I'm going to take my husband with me because I had so much fun. Yep, and that's optional. If you don't want to take your other half with you, that's cool too. There's no judgment here. Sometimes we all need some time and space away. But there's a couple of resources that I'd encourage you to look at. And do we want to start with your checklist, Karina? Because I think that's.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about for 2 secs while I share the link with Daryl to get on?
Yeah, 100%. So I've been privileged now to experience 2 trips with LifeWave. The first one was in March this year, where Misha Harding, Senior Presidential Director, said, come with me on this corporate experience. You've worked really hard. I want to show you, I want to take you with me. You can be my +1. The second one was one that I qualified for just like this. And was there a stretch? Absolutely. But like if anything that's worthwhile, there's a shift, there's a stretch. And I really enjoyed myself on both occasions. I just remember sitting in that moment in time. And the thing that gets me as a nutritionist is the buffet breakfast. Like starting my day with that caliber of food, the layers of freshness, the honeycomb literally dripping off the honeycomb, the honey's dripping off the honeycomb, and like beautiful fresh pho for breakfast and kimchi and all the fermented foods, and like everything is just like a party in your mouth, and you didn't have to prepare it. You don't have to clean up afterwards.
I love that bit.
You just then meander back to your room and your bed's made and you go, man, I don't want to leave. So that's the experience that you have with LifeWave, alongside just having really incredible humans doing it with you. So you get these really special, juicy connection conversations with people when you're not in work mode, and you get to learn a little bit more about them, your crossline, your downline, your upline, your whole team. We're all doing this together. So there's no rank or up or down. It's just like we're part of the LifeWave family. So are you able to share that document?
I am.
Cool. All right. So would you all agree that when it comes to achieving a goal, you do need a plan?
Yeah, definitely. I love a plan.
Yeah. And I love a plan and a strategy too, because instead of it being this wishy-washy thing into the future, I can now bring it into daily action steps. And daily action steps that are appropriate for my lifestyle. And my lifestyle is going to be different for your lifestyle. So where you want to make this work is you're going to take this to your version of Now, the reason why we've got a picture of a waterfall is we're setting the intention for, in Bali, to be sharing an experience in a waterfall together. There's a really clear thing in our visualizations that we are doing this waterfall experience together. And so the more you can feel that water on your skin, you can feel the sensation, drop that into your visualization exercises, putting pictures around the house, like you're making it happen. This is your reality. This is, you're drawing your energetic self to this place, or you're praying, come, bring it. Like for me.
Has everyone on the call heard about the miracle morning that some of us are doing? And is it okay if everyone unmute themselves, Sal?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So does everyone just want to unmute themselves and let's just have a bit of a chat? So
How do
is
you do
everyone on the
that?
call? Yeah, Carly, I know Carly's doing the miracle morning. So the miracle morning is a routine that you can do every day that Sal introduced a few of us to, and it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger the number of people that are doing it. And if you're stuck anywhere or you're not getting the results that you want, I would encourage everyone on the call, first thing they do is go and watch the Miracle Morning movie and then get the app, ask to join our Facebook Messenger group, which is an accountability, go on this, you know, the magic carpet ride of a 30-day challenge to introduce a routine into your morning that's just going to change your life. Like seriously, on so many levels. I think we're up to day 12 today.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the number of changes and stuff that I have been through is amazing. Like it's just transformed everything. Like Daryl's doing it with me, so my hubby's doing it with me. I've introduced it to coaching clients. It's going to become a thing that I do with every coaching client because it's been a missing piece of the growth puzzle for me, but also a missing piece of the success puzzle. So having a routine where if you've never done a meditation before, there's a guided meditation. If you've never done visualization, like we're talking about sitting under the waterfall before, then there's a visualization exercise. And the app literally takes you through step by step and compacts it into between a 10 and a 15-minute routine that incorporates 6 key elements. And in that, like I came up with thinking about my visualization and my goal was to qualify to go to Bali. And in that, I know from all my coaching experience that the more senses I can evoke and visualize, and it's like I'm actually there sitting under the waterfall, Sal's to my left, you know, my girlfriend Trista's to my right, Sharon's there. So I visualize Daryl's there, or he might be off with the blokes, knowing Daryl, him and Ray are probably chatting somewhere with Ken and all those guys. And, you know, maybe there's Tony there too. And so the more I can visualize all those sorts of things, when it comes to doing the day by day by day steps and stuff like that, then you've got your big why of why you want to do it. And you might see at the top of my form here, I've got abundance of health, wealth, and connections. Because to me, that's my why for being on the planet. That's my why for doing LifeWave. And LifeWave is the vehicle for me to achieve that. And part of the bonus that we get, the incentive, so yes, we get paid our commissions and our bonuses and all that sort of stuff, but there's this opportunity for us to also get incentive trips. So me and Daryl had on our list to go to Bali as something we wanted to do in the next 12 months. And then LifeWave just happens to go, let's go to Bali. Now, you can thank me for that if you like, but there might have been somebody else that, you know, wanted to go to Bali, and you put all those combined intentions and LifeWave all of a sudden have that as an incentive trip. You might go coincidence and I go no, manifestation. So hello. So we need a step-by-step process of how to do that. And so this is where Sal, if you want to unmute yourself, Chicky. Yeah. So this is where Sal took somebody through the other day. What was it? Anyway, one of her people through the other day. And I knew she was having that call. And I said, well, to save you time, I want to jump on that call if it's okay with the other person, to maximise Sal's time so she didn't have to do lots of one-on-ones. We did a bit of a group one, and Sal took us through the steps of what to do to qualify to Bali. And then my brain, how I work, I like a list and I like accountability and I like to be able to check it off and I like to know where I'm going to find those resources. So that's how I came up with this. So if we go through this step by step, number one, I've got my why I'm doing what I'm doing. So every time I sit down to do a task that's related to getting me to Bali, it's because I know I want an abundance of health, wealth, and connections. And like, who can't see themselves, feel themselves sitting under a waterfall? If water's your thing, water's my thing. Like, it's how I connect. It's nature, it's flow, it's revitalizing, it's refreshing, it's freaking fun, it's adventure, it ticks every box for me. So I can get there like that fast just by thinking about it. And so when I sit down to do the practical things, even though I have to make phone calls and check on the back office and follow up and have conversations with people, on the days that I don't feel like that, when I first get up, but then I do my miracle mornings that just so gets me in the zone, and then I'm focused and I go in and I do this stuff. And so the first thing we need to do, so I'm currently ranked as a manager. So I've put this together because it was all about me. And then Sal asked, and I showed it to Sal and she went, oh my God, that's freaking awesome. Can we share that with the team? And I went, sure. And she also said she had a bit of FOMO about how well my brain worked and stuff like that, but that's just a story she's telling herself. So step one is you go into the back office, and if this is applicable for you, now Sal, this is where you said people that are what?
So if you're a bit of a veteran with your life way of business, you're going to have people that are going to have a renewal fee. So every 12 months from the date that they subscribe, they're from September onwards, the 1st of September, there's a $25 US renewal fee. So that gives them access to the discount pricing and a variety of different products. It also enables them to have access to the maintenance packs, which are really good value. So the benefit for them is that they get the cheaper product and they continue to have a rank in the binary tree. Now, the binary tree is important when you're intentionally sharing this tech to get to Bali and create financial freedom. And there is a report that is available. So if you log into the back office of your LifeWave account and go organization, I don't think it's upcoming rank promotions. I think it's, organization. So this is very impromptu, this part of the training, but when Karina shared this with me on Friday, I went, oh my God, we need this as a checklist. So you can do your own version of it, but when you go to the organization tab, there's an annual renewal fee and you can actually check who's coming up. And so for me, I've been involved in this business now for nearly 2 years. So my list is a little bit longer. So I would go to the people that are coming up for expiration and saying, hey, did you know that your back office is about to close off? I might talk to them about where they sit in the binary tree, what's available to them should they choose to build. But I'd also be asking questions like, hey, has anything changed for you? Like when you first started this technology, you were claiming your health, and there's a wealth opportunity here. There's also a community opportunity.
So this is probably for people that have dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. And that mightn't be active or stuff like that. And this list we put together was actually about, well, Sal actually, it's the low hanging fruit. So it's when you start on something big, and it's a psychology thing. To get the easy runs on the board, it builds your confidence. So this was a way for us to get the easy runs on the board. So for people that might have people that haven't that their annual renewals coming up, they're the easiest people to like re-engage and get them in the business. So then the second step was to check out all the people in your downline and see if they are all on auto ship. If they're not all on auto ship, then have a conversation with them.
So there's a couple of ways to do that. When you go into your back office, under your binary tree viewer, there is a key at the bottom, which we can share shortly. I just want to kind of go through this one document first and foremost. And what we're doing is we're looking at ways that we can quickly make cash, because let's be real, that's why we're all doing this. We're doing this to pay for our own product and then create financial sovereignty. And help others. So, and not so much in that order, but in that layer of priority. And so we'll go to the back office, we'll check who's on auto ship, who's not on auto ship. And there's a few ways that you can do that. There's some reports available to us, or you can just go through it in the binary tree. You just want to see.
Yep.
You can ask them if they're on auto ship and they've purchased the core, formerly known as the silver pack. They're a prime candidate to get more technology cheaper by upgrading to the advanced pack. So they pay the difference. They pay one auto ship. They're not paying monthly shipping costs. And so they can upgrade from core to advanced, get a few more sleeves to explore some of the other technology in the range should they choose to, or just get lack of shipping costs. So this is a really quick way for you to make extra cash because you're going to get paid on the upgrade.
Yeah. So it's all about, getting your points. So if we need to talk about that too, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll bring that up on the This Is It team page. So sort of using 3 or 4 different resources now to come up with a 10-week plan to get you to Bali. So it'll all come together. Just hold steady. It seems like there's a lot being shared at the moment. Just stay with us.
There's a few moving parts, people, and know that step by step we'll walk you through it. So
yeah.
And so there's the upgrades that you can get.
Yep.
And to me, it's like people that might start off on the core. Like I've got a girlfriend at the moment who goes, yep, I'm going to do the upgrade. And it's because they've been using them for a while. They get the benefit of it. And then they go, oh, hey, yeah, I want to patch such and such in the family, or I want to try the different support patches and all that sort of stuff. So that's the low-hanging fruit. Always go back to the people that you've already, that are already convinced that this is a thing, because they're your low-hanging fruit. They're your easy wins. They're your easy way to generate the income and generate the points that you need to get to Bali. So,
well, there's a trend, and I don't know, you can probably agree to this, Karina, where you might have someone patching for 4 or 5 months. They reckon they perhaps confess to you that they haven't really had any shifts, or maybe they've had things get worse before they get better.
Yeah.
But they never tell you.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why. So this is an opportunity for you to connect in with them and say, hey, have you got any questions? What's coming up for you? Have you dialed in your health tracker? Where are you at? What shifts have you noticed? Is there anyone else you can think of that would benefit from this technology? So you're not just using this to talk to them. You're talking to them because you're opening up conversation around, is there anyone else I can help you with that might benefit from this? So you're starting to use that one lead to open up different doors.
Yeah.
So you might think, oh, it's just follow up, but it's never just follow up. You want to have your good dialogue around who else.
I'm always talking to the people that I'm patching, and this is probably something we need to add to the patching roadmap, is check in with your sponsor, have a conversation. If you got any queries, you got something you don't understand, I've written it down. So and this is the thing about rank advancement isn't about having to get lots and lots of people. It's just taking care of the people that you have.
100%. Boom. That was a mic drop moment. Hang on. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So rank advancement isn't about getting lots and lots of individual enrollments. It's just looking after the people you have. You only need to go in speaking and stuff like that. We talk about an inch wide and a mile deep. So you only need to have those 4 people. If you haven't ranked yet, you only need to enroll 4 people on core, advanced or premium, and then look after them and help them rank up, right? And as soon as you rank up 4 times, then you unlock all the bonuses. But as soon as you rank up to manager, you unlock extra bonuses, extra points. So when I got this, I ranked manager in about, 6 weeks. And then to me, that might be slow for some people, but I had so many learnings along the way that I went, oh my God, this is actually really easy. This is all I need to do. I only need to talk to 4 people. And since I qualified as manager, it's actually got easier to rank to manager because it's just core, advanced and premium, like 3 options for people. So, and I say that, but it was, it was an achievement that I'm really proud of. So, so if you're thinking I've got to enroll you know, 60 million people. And then how am I possibly going to look after 60 million people? You don't have to.
And you're
4
actually
people.
better off if you don't.
Yes.
So this is coming from someone that has personally sponsored a lot of people and done no nurture sequence, because I was always on to the next shiny thing. So if you just nurture the people that you have in an effective manner and you start to have good conversations with them and not buy into their excuses or bullshit, you'll actually have a better outcome and a stronger business than trying to find the next new shiny thing. So where are we at now? So so we got number 5.
Yep, I'm just
Or is it, sorry, 4?
yeah. So we did, so upgrades, up and coming rank promotions. So this is the key part. Sal, do you want to take over for this one?
Yes. So in your back office, where you go into your organization, which is essentially everything business related, there'll be upcoming rank promotions. And what that's going to say is it will say, for example, Joe Blogs. Joe Blogs is currently paid as a manager, but Joe, their next rank is director. And if Joe's 90% the way there, you're going to actually have a look around how to help Joe get to the next step, because they're 10% the way away. And how the qualification works in Bali is you cannot get to Bali without helping someone else or other people. So you want to try and figure out who's almost there and help them first, because they're going to get to that place quicker than the person that's 60%. But essentially, I would be working at the 90%, go to the 81%, go to the 71%, go to the 70%, and then go to the 60%. So you're sort of working backwards. So whoever's closest to the next rank, you're essentially going to support. And actually just ask the question, would you benefit from a free holiday for you and your husband to Bali in April? Some people might say no. Some people might not even put that in their radar. Like, that's even just too hard because a holiday is just not financially available to them. But if you can gift them that and show them how to get their product for free and open up another way for your business to build tap roots, which is essentially another way to say it, sort of another layer, another layer, another layer. The more tap roots you have, the stronger your organization. And this is something Steve and Gina shared with me the other day, which I thought was pretty fascinating. And so the new PIB, so if you don't know what that is, product introduction bonus, we have a strategy called 331, which is with Onyx Cole, who's our next elite presidential director, or we can use the GoPro strategy, which is Steve and Gina's strategy. Find what works for you. Find what works within your lifestyle and then work backwards. So if you're dedicating 10 hours a week to this, work backwards. If you're dedicating 5 hours a week to this, work backwards. If you're dedicating only 2 hours a week, we're working backwards. We're going to figure out how to get the most impact, but you have to be intentional. It's impossible to get to where you want to go without a plan and without taking action. Okay, so I think the next section there says go to this is it downloads, which we'll have a play around with in a moment. And then just ask the question to the people that you're speaking with. Do you want to come to Bali? Do you want to be one of my 3? And when I say 3, I mean you'll often have 3 people that you're working with quite actively, or 3 lines of sponsorship that you're working with quite actively. So for me, if I said Shelley's line of sponsorship, well, in Shelley's line of sponsorship, there's Stephanie, there's Sibel, there's Larimer and Briley. And so that's one line of sponsorship. With Karina's line of sponsorship, there's Sharon and Carly, etc. And so as we be intentional, I'm saying, right, well, my direct personal sponsor is Karina and Shelley. So then from Karina and Shelley, how do I get them to their next rank and how do I help them hold it? And in order for them to get to their next rank, they have to help people. So I'm now helping Karina and Shelley and their 2 people. So I'm now going out of personal sponsorship mode into support mode. And you only have to do that twice, because you only need 2 key people that you're working with to develop legacy income in this business. The rest will come. Just focus on finding the 2 people that are actively building the business, one on the left, one on the right. But ask them, do you want to come? Because they might just say no. And then you go, okay, well then
Yeah.
You know, maybe they still want the income, maybe they still want the business building, but they just might not want to come to Bali. So the outcome might be slightly different with them. Organising a strategy session for each one. Now, what I did last week was quite impromptu with this person. And so it was an impromptu conversation with Karina, who impromptu said, can I join? And I value that. So please don't feel like you're missing out and I'm offering secret one-on-ones. I'm not. It was just a moment in time. If you want to have a strategy session, we can do that too. But essentially, I went through exactly this information, which is where this came from. So invite to the Thursday HWT, so Health, Wealth and Technology webinar. So this is our opportunity meeting, our 30-minute succinct opportunity meeting, 12:30 Sydney time, Melbourne time. Guys, this is to leverage. If you've got 5 hours or 10 hours in the business, you have to be good at inviting people to events.
So this is something that we, me and Sal, have been working on for months. It's about how do we create the lifestyle business that we want? Because I don't know about you, Sal, but I was looking around watching other people above us that have been hugely successful in rank, but I'm looking at them going, I don't want to work that hard. I want to play with my grandkids. I want to do this. I want to walk on the beach. I want to do that, that, and that. So I'm always into how do I, and this is my energy type too. I like to know how I can do it faster, easier, with the least amount of effort. So I can maximize my time doing the other stuff, right? So, and the other stuff is like, what's the point in having an income if you don't have a life to go along with it? So this is where me and Sal came up with, how do we maximize our time? So Sal was already working on the patching roadmap, so we didn't have to spend 60 million, a lot of our time talking to people about how to actually patch effectively. All we need to do is sign them up to the patching roadmap and they'll get emails that rock up in their box every day. Now, Carly, you've been getting that as a new patcher. So how are you finding the patching roadmap emails?
Might get you to unmute. Sorry, Carly, it was just a bit scratchy. There we go.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question?
So the question was, you're a new patcher. So
Yeah.
is it okay if I put you on the spot, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been getting the patching roadmap emails. Have you been reading those?
No.
Okay, well, that's something we need to talk about. So that was a really bad example. Not on you, Carly. That's on us. So I'll have to talk to you about that.
I don't often check my emails.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
fine, Dale. We'll talk about that later. So that's one thing. The other thing that me and Sal have noticed is that by actually spending this time developing the team on Mondays, we can answer a lot of questions for a lot of people in 1 hour versus doing all those one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right. And then Thursdays is about the 3-3-1 method that Onyx Cole talks about is invite 3 people, follow up 3 people, patch 3 people, talk to 3 new people, like, you know, people that you get to enroll and patch them if you can. Follow up 3 people and then invite 1 person along to, you know, and Monday nights is where you could have invited people along to the opportunity calls or the Wednesday nights and stuff like that. But Sal and me both went, we don't like doing stuff at night time. So could we do a day thing? And that totally works for me because I attract a lot of people that work in businesses for themselves and they're often got young kids and that sort of stuff and they don't want to do stuff at night time. And Sal and me didn't want to do it at night time either. So we created our own. And Shelley and Steph have been totally on board with supporting us to make that happen. So it's like, how do we maximize our time to get the maximum result with the least amount of effort? And it's taken a lot of back end stuff for us to do, but it's freeing up our time and maximizing that. So having a system like this is, you know, it's like the next step. So we're up to task number 1 down the bottom here is download the sheet that actually is for you, and it's at the resources on the This Is It team downloads that says how to get to manager if you're not at manager. you know.
Yeah.
So I've downloaded that for my people that aren't managers yet, right? And then for me, I've downloaded the fast track to director to literally tick off. And I've got to support 2 people to get to manager for me to rank to director. And every time I do one of these tasks, it gives me points that will get me to Bali. It also generates me income. So, you know, hello. And the combined strategy session. So, you know, I was talking to Sal before, who's my upline. I need another strategy session because I've got a whole lot clearer about what I do. And I'm going to get there faster by picking her brain rather than me trying to figure it out.
Yep, absolutely. And if I teach Karina, she's going to then go and teach her 5 people.
Yeah.
So if I leverage now my time, absolutely. Is that an efficient way to do business? 100%. Because if I try and do all the things by myself, I'm going to be spinning my wheels and I'm going to be doing more than 10 hours a week, which is not what my lifestyle goals are. So yes, we can be busy for the sake of being busy, or we can be hyper productive, knowing how our bodies work, being intentional, having our goals and working intelligently. And I'm more about systemizing and strategizing. And as is all of you, I know all of you, and you want the results, you're hungry, you've put in the hard yards. But just a slight segue, I got 20 minutes on the run with Steve and Gina Merritt the other day, almost one-on-one. It was a very intimate group. These guys have created, I'm not allowed to make income claims, but if I told you the level of wealth that they've created in 24 months from this business, you would vomit. It is outrageous. What did he say in the training session? He said, it took me 5 years to get good at this business. That was before he was with LifeWave. He was indirect selling well and truly before, but it's a conscious choice. You need to decide, I want to get good at this. I'm not ashamed of this. This is a very successful leveraged business model, and I'm doing it with something I'm lit up about. I'm in alignment with the values of the company, the vision for the future, and I'm helping others create wealth where they wouldn't be able to for their life. This is by the people, for the people. So we make a conscious decision. This is not a jobby, guys. This is not a hobby to get broke on. This is a very serious and intentional career, and all of you are magnificent. If you just saw what we see in you, you would be standing 10 inches taller. But we need to get out of our own way. We need to deprogram what we've known, and we need to start to work intentionally and efficiently. And I think we've got all the resources available, but just navigating where they are and then adopting it as your own. Yeah, so we've got strategy session number 4, invite to the Health, Wealth and Technology webinar. That's leverage. You have 2 options.
Sorry.
Yep.
What days those ones on?
So we do have the Aussie Wednesday night at 9 p.m, which I think is 11 p.m. New Zealand time. So that's never going to work. So that's why we've created the Thursday 12:30, which would be 2:30 your time. Yeah, 2:30 your time, because you're 3 hours in front.
It's 1:30 here now.
So to be 3:30 your time. Yeah, which isn't great for
time, isn't it?
Which isn't great for school pickup. But let's play with it. If we can load the meetings, we can do another one, right? Like if we're recognizing that this is becoming successful, it's enabling us to be accountable.
I think it's only 2:30. 2:30 in New Zealand. They're 2 hours ahead.
Oh, sorry, 2:30, sorry. And it's
2:30.
half an hour, Dior. So it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes product, 15 minutes business.
Yeah.
And it's with all the...
That's good, I don't have.
That's where we're using your magic. We've got a whole page in our slideshow, Dior, that has all the points that you went through that Sal spoke to you about permission putting it in the slideshow. So you feature.
You feature. You got a whole page there, honey.
So we found that this is actually a good webinar to actually invite any current patches along to as well, because we also promote the business opportunity in it. And I had a buddy of mine jump on this the other day who's been patching, and I've been holding the space for her to come on the business side because she's one of my best mates. And at the end of the call, she messaged me going, I'm in for the business side. And I'm like, what? You know, because I've been waiting for ages, because I want to go on freaking Bali trips with her, you know, stuff like that.
And sometimes it's hard when they're your good close friends. You don't want to do the sales pitch, so that's nice to invite them along, and then you guys do that, and then they go, "Wow!" They see the light. Then, yeah,
I know, right? So
I'd love to show you. So I think we've got do you mind? I'd love to show you. I'm mindful that we want to have some space for time, and
so the girls had a question somewhere along the way to us.
Oh, sorry, I saw that. So Larimer and Briley.
Yeah, I'm not sure who had the question.
Sorry. We probably lost that moment in time, didn't we? We just babbled.
They're talking and nothing's coming out.
You're muted.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
You'll get the hang of it eventually.
I'm going to repeat myself, so I'll just keep going. Yeah, so it was just way back because the Facebook group, because I didn't get that.
Oh, sorry, it's not actually a group. It's just on Messenger. But do you want me to pop you in?
Oh yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll do that. And so what we've done in the presentation, and this is extremely intentional. This is so that you don't have to be a needy girlfriend and like chase people.
This is the Thursday.
This is the Thursday
that we run.
Opportunity meeting. Now, if you want a copy of these slides, please let me know and I'll send you the PDF so that you can look through them and just make sure that we're not going to say anything outrageous to your best hot prospects.
Larimer and Briley want a copy.
Yeah, cool. So then, so what we're encouraging people to do at the end of the presentation is to please return to the person that invited you. And just and it goes a little bit something like this, and everyone's going to be speaking it differently, but the person that invited you felt that you would benefit from this health and wealth technology. And so just ask that you give them the courtesy. You've just invested half an hour of your life. Just give them the courtesy of sending them a little message as to whether or not you are a number one. I'm ready to get started to claim my health. You're a number two. I'm ready to get started, or I'm ready to start patching to claim my health and my wealth. So these are people that can see the big picture. They've already bought into the business. Or I've got a question and I need more information to make a decision. And they're going to come back to you. So they're going to message you a 1, 2, or a 3. And you're going to know what that 1, 2, or 3 is because you know now because we've just shared it. And that's going to enable you to understand where they sit. It's also getting your action takers to take action.
And so the big picture, I'm just going to jump in, Sal. So Thursdays is about inviting people along that are interested in the patches and want more information, or they're into the patches and the business. So you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know anything about the patches or whatever. And like, who did I invite along? So I met a couple of people just out randomly talking when I was out with the grandkids one day, and I had like about 2 seconds to talk to these people. And I said, look, we're putting together a webinar. It's run during the day. Here's the link. Jump on, watch the information, and tell me what you think. And so they're the people you can invite to this, or the people that go, oh, that sounds brilliant. Have you got more information? So this is where we invite them along to the webinar, and it does so it's it's giving them information about the patches, also giving them information about the business opportunity.
That's converted into AUD so they can make a quick decision. Do I have that in my bank account, or do I need to make a few more payments on my credit card? We've got some of the information about the incentive trips. We've got, the matching bonuses, it's all the same fonts, guys. We've got that we're the fastest growing team in the Australia Pacific region as of last fortnight. It's got our trending growth, etc. So this is a really powerful document. I've had it recreated from Steve and Gina Merritt's. And the reason being is I wanted the figures to be current. The formal one said 2023, and I felt like we could just do a little bit more to make it a little bit prettier, to be fair. And we really hone in on, like, what do you just want? Is it just health, or is it wealth as well? So come to one of those, see what it's like, then get your people there, but just leverage it, man. Like, if you're going to be spending doing, 10 hours a week doing this business, and you invite 10 people to that and you get 10 5 ones, how's it going to change your financial outcome? Fast. So here is our team training page on how to build the business. This is itteam.com. Now, these guys are legends, fastest growing team in the world in LifeWave. So if they know a few tricks, they certainly are experts at this. So it's going to tell you how to get to manager. It's going to tell you how to get to director, how to get to senior director. But the thing that we're looking at here is actually this, it says Punta Mita because the US gets a qualification not to Bali, but to Mexico, whereas we get Bali. So this is the document that you're going to have on your desk. You're going to have it printed out. And from the reports that we just shared, you're going to, hypothetical, who can I get? Who's put their hand up? So if Karina has said, yes, I'm running for senior director in the next 90 days, and Shelley said, I'm running for senior director, their name's going to be on my form. And then when I look at that, I'm going to go, okay, so personal enrollments. So we'll just go here. So personal enrollment. So let's just say that Karina goes from manager to director. Now I'm going to get 7 points.
Can we zoom in at all?
Yeah, let me just.
Thank you.
There we go.
So let's just say here, I'm going to put Karina here. She said that she wants to go from manager to senior director. And she's equipped. She's booking me in for a call. She's ready. She wants to run. So here's 7 points, hypothetically. Let's say Shelley's going to do director to senior director. And so that's plus 10. And let's just say, person 3, 4, etc. So you're going to go through the reports that we shared in the document that Karina was screen sharing, and you're going to find the ones that are going to be fast, because these are going to be quick wins. You're going to get a lot of volume, and we're going to get you your points so that you can go to Bali. So this is you personally hitting. The top one is you personally earning points and hitting your lifetime rank. So let's just say at the moment that for the duration of the date, which was 21 October to 23 Feb, that you had the status of, like, I'm using you as an example, Karina. So for the first 4 weeks, you hit manager, and then you hit senior director for the balance of that period. So you've just gained 18 points to get to Bali. Now, executive director, presidential director, and senior presidential director. No reason why you couldn't hit any of those. You just have to get into massive action. And so personally ranking up. So let's just say that within that period, which we just talked about, you went from manager to director, and then you went to senior director. So we're going to just pop 35 points here. So we've got 7. And this is exactly what I did for myself. So I went, okay, what have we got here? So we've got 18 plus 35 plus 7 plus 10. We've got 70 points. So I'm 30 points away from 1 ticket. 1 ticket is 100 points. How easy do you think you could do that if you woke up and focused your energy intentionally each day? I reckon you could all knock 1 point out, 100 points out, no problem. Now, how much is 2 tickets? It's only 140 points. So we know we've got 70 in the pocket. Let's go for another 70. How are we going to do it? We're essentially going to have some personal enrollments. So some personal enrollments, we're going to talk to some people because we've got our list. So we're going to sign up some cores. We're going to sign up some advanced and a couple of premiums in the next 10 weeks. Can we do it? Absolutely. So this person here signs up for a core. So we're going to pop 2 points in there. This person here signs up for an advanced, and you see the picture, right? So if we said that most of them signed up as an advanced pack, because you've upgraded them from silver to gold or core to advanced in that period of time of 10 weeks because they've run out of product, you went like divided by 4. That's 17 advanced packs. So you could get, in addition to your people ranking up, it's another 17 points. We'd need another 17 and a half. Now, some of those people are going to do premium. Some of those people are going to be core. Now, I know what's running through your head. You're like, I don't know that many people. Well, guess what? There's a document for that. And it's called a memory jogger.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to that, Sally Ann? When does that start?
So it was the 10th of 21 October.
So anything that you've done after 21 of
23rd.
October will
Yep.
be, you could put it in your sheet. Okay,
You
thank
can put it in your sheet. So download the sheet, cross that out, write Bali on the top, put the dates in there, 21 October to 23 Feb, lean into your upline and start running. Like you could definitely do this. It's achievable. And the thing that I love about, here we go, memory jogger. So we can all say that we have a mobile phone, and Shelley and I were talking about this the other day. When we're thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't spoken to my mate Alison for 5 years. How embarrassing. How am I going to ring up and talk to her about something that's really cool? Now, let me ask you this. If you didn't phone Alison about this opportunity, is it likely that Alison's going to call you anyway? Probably not.
Oh, well.
It's probably unlikely that after 5 years of neither of you calling each other, that Alison's going to just pick up the phone and go, hey, Shelley, how you going? I haven't spoken to you for 5 years, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is we really want to get it out of our head around, oh my God, I haven't spoken to you for 5 years. Because if you don't speak to them about this, trust me, they're not ringing you. That if they're not ringing you, then it doesn't matter whether or not you invite them to an opportunity event and they say, I'm a 1, 2, or a 3, or just not interested and never speak to you again. Does it really matter? No. But what if, like on the Vietnam tour, there was somebody there that was a single mum. She was smashing herself with life, and she had $15 in her pocket at the end of each month, and she was ready to kill herself. And you gave her a lifeline, and all of a sudden she's creating $1,000 a week out of this business. Do you think you're changing her life?
Yeah.
Did she have any other solution to fix that problem?
Maybe.
To get into for $500? Seriously, like have a think. Where are the options? Are you walking down the street going, I'm going to be one of those guys that wears the costume on the corner handing out flyers and I'm going to make $1,000 a week? No, because you're away from your kids. If you're a single mum, your biggest obstacle is you don't have time because you've got to be with kids. Who's going to look after them? You're a single mum. So what I want you to think about is when you're calling that person, firstly, you're dropping into your heart. And then you're saying something along the lines of, hey, Alison, you dropped on my heart the other day. And I don't know why, but I got something really cool and I'd love to share it with you. Would it be cool if I shared something really cool with you? Now, if she says yes, you share. If she says, no, fuck off, I haven't heard from you in 5 years, then you say, okay, sorry, bye. But she's not.
Like, seriously, people that just drop into my head and people that I've been friends with in the past, if they drop in, I then take action and make a phone call, and I never get that. What I get was, oh my God, I've been thinking about you too, 9 times out of 10, because that's how energy works.
And so you're using the memory jogger list intentionally, right? I mean, this might be different for some of you, but for me, I would be like, I'd be asking myself. So on a Friday in my ideal week, I have a time where I actually plan out my 3-3-1, right? I've got a time here where I look at this and I go, where's my 100 names? I've got my 100 names. They're in my phone. They're in my head. So I use this as a prompt and I start to go, I could call this person. Or quite often I'll be talking to Ray and I'd say, who else do we know that would be absolutely amazing at this? And so as my belief has grown in the organization and what it can deliver for people, so has my ability to contact better quality people. Because at the beginning, you're just going, oh my God, I don't want to rock myself. I'm perhaps going to go to the people that I feel most comfortable with, which is always friends and family. And they're the ones that always say no, because they never see you for who you really are and they never really understand the opportunity. So instead of doing that, which is what I did, go for the big dogs, go for the people that are really cool. And you go, oh my gosh, I want to travel with these people. Not the people at Christmas that you sit across from and you go, oh my God, they're telling me the same story 5 times. And so the memory joggers, who do I know that's in accounting, acting, advertising, aerobics, Air Force, da, 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 da. If you say you don't know people and you look at this list and you can genuinely say, I don't have enough people, we're only looking for 4. Just find 4 of your best, and it's going to be way quicker than getting like the plebs. Go for the people that you're like, oh my God, they scare me to ring them because they're so successful perceivably. They're the people that are going to get it. They're looking for leveraged income. They're sick of working 80 hours weeks, and they want a solution to their health. And if they don't want a solution for their wealth, then they're definitely looking to upskill their health because they want more energy to sustain their big goals and their big dreams and their big mortgage and their big commitments and their big Range Rover repayments and all the other things, right? And so we've got this list. How I do it is I have a little, I'll just stop sharing that for a sec. This is what I'm doing at the moment, and feel free, I can send you a copy.
While Sal's doing that, I've dropped 2 docs in the chat, people.
Oh, you rock.
One is the steps, and it's in a PDF form, and the other one is I've actually already edited the Bali, the Pinta Minta whatever to Bali. So if people
Legend.
save themselves a bit of time doing that too.
Oh, you rock. Now, in my sales days, so if you don't know, I was corporate real estate agent for 25 years. Took people from $30,000 in gross commission to $1 million a year. That is not bragging. It's just what I did. And I was really good at it. And then I thought to myself the other day, oh my God, why am I not doing that in this? And I just want to share with you the plan, right? So this is for me. So I work 3 days a week in this business. The other 2 days are intentional and deliberate around planning and resource and taking time out. So day 1, now this is using the 3-3-1 model. This is reaching out to 3 new people. This is following up with, so if each day you did the 3-3-1 and it took you 1 hour, then essentially if you worked 3 days, you're doing 7-7-3 each day for 3 days. So you're attempting to speak to 3 of the people that are on those memory joggers each day. So on a Friday, I sit down and I fill out all my names. Who am I ringing? And so when I hit Monday at 12:30 after I've had lunch after this, I'm getting straight on the phone to all the people on that list. And so I'm having an attempt to communicate with them with the intention that they're going to pick up. Because that's the other thing. If you think, oh, they're not going to pick up, guess what happens? They don't pick up. So you're having every intention that they're picking up, you're dropping into your heart, you're making the communication, and you're attempting, then you're tracking. Did I speak to, out of the 7, how many did I get hold of? Who did you connect with? Did you talk to them at all about the technology? Did you invite them to a presentation? Or did they just say yes on the phone? They were so lit up, they gave you their credit card details and they were ready to rock and roll.
I did that the other day. I had someone drop on my heart, just jumped on the phone call, blah, 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 blah. I'd previously had a chat with them last year about the patches, and I just said, look, I reckon this is for you. And she reckons, yeah, I'm fine. Yep, me too. She just literally signed up on the phone. It was that easy.
That's my most successful way to sponsor people is over the phone. Yeah. And most people will say to me, they'll actually ask, oh, so what are you like, how do I get started? Great, give me your details now. Just give me 5 minutes. So go through that. I can send you this if you want. I don't know intentionally how many days or hours you're working in the week, but if I can tell you right now that when you're clear on what you're achieving, what you're wanting to achieve, and you're taking the relevant steps and you're using the resources that are available to you, it's unfallible. There's no way that you would not succeed. There is no failure. It's just learning and growth. So if you then found that you did this exact model, so you did your 7-7-3 and you had no one say yes, you're booking a strategy session with us. You ring your upline, you go, man, I tried that and it didn't work. Then we're going to work out why. So we're going to test, measure, monitor. We're going to play with it. We're going to make it right for you so that you can own it. Because if it's not yours and it's not authentic to you and you're trying to be a Stephen Jean, a Merritt or a Karina or a Sally Ann, you'll never find your flow. So it has to be about you. Your lane has to be your speak. Jill's going to be speaking differently to her people than Larimer and Briley will, than Stephanie will. Because we all have a different we all have a different set of life experiences, and the connections in our phone are different. But what I'd encourage you get into action. This is how you make it in this business. And interestingly, I also had a phone call with Onyx Coal this week, largest business in the world in LifeWave, right? So the biggest market share in 5 years. You know what she said to me? I said, oh, we wouldn't mind talking about the X49. She said, I do not talk about any other product other than this X39. I never talk about any other product, ever. Now, if success was to leave clues, what do you reckon that means?
Just talk about the X39, people.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it there because I could keep going, and I'm mindful that we want to have some questions if there are any. Does anyone have anything kind of landing with them, or there's some stuff coming up and you're like, how do I move through that?
Can't see the forms.
Oh,
They're there. Well,
in the chat.
I can see them in the chat.
Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. This is a pretty relaxed.
Or if no one else is, I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Where I'm struggling, I've got pretty much a similar list like you of your 7 people. I've been to well over 100 people now. Where I'm finding I'm struggling is the resources to back it up. I'm getting negative response to the American marketing.
That's why we're doing this.
I think our New Zealand Kiwi conservative type people, even my sister said to me the other day, I can't stand the sound of American voices. Her husband had been watching the Trump stuff, and she said, oh my God, if I hear another American voice, I'm really struggling with that. I love what Jean and the Merritts are doing, but as an initial introduction to put that website up there, I'm not getting anybody coming back. When I follow up, that's the negativity I'm sort of getting.
Have you tried Start X39?
Sorry?
Have you tried Start X39?
Yes, yeah, yes, but hers is, she's not maintained it and it's not compatible. That's what I was sending out, and also Patchy DU. So if I go back to Onyx's one, it wasn't until I was checking on my mobile that a lot of things it hasn't been optimized or being brought up for being able to see it on your mobile very well. So when you send something in Messenger, which I was doing a lot, or WhatsApp, which most people have got on their phone, I wasn't noticing it to start with because I've got Messenger, WhatsApp, everything on my PC. And yes, I do love Start X39 now, but on your mobile, which is where a lot of people were watching it, all you get is a X where the videos were supposed to play. And then, of course, if you go and jump on some of the videos or the testimonials, 90% of, or I should say 99% of them are American.
Yeah, it's an American site. So we have our Australian, we've got our Australian YouTube channel, but we've had to make it private. So you can send that.
I've been giving that link or finding it, and hence the reason why I went down the process of thinking, right, I need to build the website that will be Australian, New Zealand targeted. Pretty much taking the same concept and followed what Onyx is doing, what Jenna Sullivan's doing, just trying to make it so you're not copying it 100%. And then wanting the testimonies to be Australian and New Zealand, and just X39. Then once they're on board, once you've got them on board, they're getting results, and yes, they're interested in the business, bringing them in on this, because now you're mentioning this is it, team. Then I think they can deal with, they're getting results. They've got skin in the money. They've got them skin in it.
All right. Can I ask a question here? And this is just for general interest.
Yeah.
Who on this call signed up because they looked at the website?
Videos, I did, definitely.
Who here signed up because they looked at a video?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the only reason why I say that, it's not making anything right or wrong. I'm just looking at who is building the business. that's on this call, like 70% of people that are building the business on this call actually said yes because of the person that phoned them. And so, and that might be different for different groups, but with our tribe, the vibe has been the connection piece. And so, and I'm not saying that technology is not amazing and it can't enhance the experience, but I've taken more orders. I've probably personally sponsored over 140 people. And none of them have been through the link.
Did you share information with them though, or a video?
I speak to them, and then I find and this has been my personal attempt, contacts, presentation, enrollment. This is just my test, measure, monitor. I'm not saying that this is right for everybody. And it might be that I'm just attracting a different type of person because we do resonate with the person that resonates with us, right? Like that's why we have connections in life. So I will often send out the This Is It team website, but what my go-to is David Schmidt from the Regenerative Health Summit. And I
Which
will
is
often
great if they talk quite religious and he has quite a spiel in there about God. And that would turn off a lot of my New Zealand people because they're not religious. But I think once they're into it, then it's not. I think that's the biggest downside with the merits. It's all very.
So can we go through? So the 100 people, if you're okay, just to go through that process a little bit with me. So you've spoken to them. You've said, "Hey, this is really awesome. This is what it did for me." And then what's happening? And then you're sending them to a website.
No, a lot of them I've met and spent a good hour and a half with. So I give them how I got involved, what my results were. I've got the good patching book that Jen O'Sullivan puts out with good information, just sticking to the X39. I do say there are support ones.
Yeah.
And then I explained why I felt that the business side of it, like to give the spiel about my corporate background and my investment banking, and that I checked out the business. I then went and watched every video of David Schmidt in it. So depending on who I'm talking to, if I know I'm talking to somebody like I did the other day, who I went and met her after she'd been to her church meeting, I actually shared with her the 2-hour video of him at the latest presentation at Dallas, where he talks all about looking at nature and the God code and everything, because she's a science woman. She understands all of the science, and she's comes from a very spiritual background as well, and she absolutely loved that. So I do try and figure out who they are to start with if I don't get that side of it.
Do you ever ask them, "Hey, can I help you get started now?"
I usually say to them, if I'm not getting that, I'll always say, "Have you got any questions?" at the end before if we're coming to the end of the meeting. Often they'll say, "Look, I'll speak to my husband," or, "Yep, is there any science? Can I go and look at the science?" Most people nowadays want to look at because you say there's a patent and it's backed by research. Most people actually say, "Well, where can I see the science?" So I then direct them to the LifeWave website, my landing page on the science. So I usually send them that link.
Okay. So if we've tried that with 100 people and that's not working, would you be open to another strategy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my worst link is then following up with them in a couple of weeks' time or a week's time. That's where I need to schedule in those calls. Rather than contacting more people, I actually probably need to, first on my priority list, is go back to the people I've put energy and time and effort that all showed a sign.
Yeah. And so where you could leverage their Dior is actually say, "Hey, we've got an event which is occurring on Thursday at 2:30, which will go for 30 minutes succinctly. It's going to share the information comprehensively. Are you available?"
Yeah.
And so that would be your follow-up, because the thing is,
yes, that's what that was the big light bulb moment when I'm sorry I came in late.
Yeah, no, not at all.
liked
And so-
about that.
And so then they're self-selecting, right? Because you're looking for the blue M&Ms. Like if you have to go to all that trouble to sell someone on the science because they're not feeling it intuitively, like we talk about the lean in. We
I
talk
think
about
it's the cost here too. That, you
Yeah,
know,
there is a
it's-
difference,
it
yeah.
and just even the shipping from Australia adds another $18 to it or something to it. So
Yeah,
it
we're
really
paying.
is a financial burden.
Yeah.
And even though I'm going to, I would say, medium to upper income, it still is. And right at the moment, the exchange rate is shocking.
Yeah, look, it is. I know that the New Zealand dollar is definitely not as strong, but we could say the same for the AUD. And a lot of our growth is in New Zealand. So we know that, I mean, we didn't win Australia Pacific fastest growing team because we're doing business out of Australia and New Zealand. We're competing in the same market. Well, not competing, but we're working in the same market. So what I would say
not
to you,
a major,
yeah, but what I would say to you, and here's purely an invitation, and this extends to anyone, I would love to support you by jumping on a three-way chat with you, be your next person. And I want to show you what I do. And it might differ slightly. You might pick up a few strategies that you can make your own, because I never have an issue getting the order.
Yeah,
and that's not, it's not a, this is not a criticism, please. This is not a criticism, but what happens is you're upskilling, right? So you're coming out of one land of skill and expertise, which you're a maestro at. And you were incredibly great in that career. And that's why you thrived in that industry for so long. And so we're now unlearning and we're putting on the new hat. And it's fumbly at the beginning. And that's why we have the upline model. Because unless I help you succeed, you can't help others succeed. So it's in my vested interest to spend 3 or 4 hours with you, doing a couple of calls, helping you with follow-up, so that you can thrive. Because when you get it, you're going to go and show another 10 people. And so my time is then leveraged. It is the
follow-up and it is the closing that is my weakness.
Well,
talking to people and introducing it is I have their attention.
What if
it's then saying,
well, what if there was a series of questions that you could ask instead of doing the sell? And then you're just zipping it.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I've found is really powerful, and this is something that I've used a lot, is, hey Dior, I've come across this technology and this is what it's done for my family. So always lead with somebody else, my husband, my stepdad, my father-in-law with neuropathy that couldn't walk. Within 3 weeks he was walking. But this is hectic, life-changing stuff. And I know you're pretty healthy, Dior, but do you know anyone else that might be able to benefit from this? And so all of a sudden, the spotlight's not on them, because you're not asking them to make a decision. You're just asking, do they know anyone? And so all of a sudden, the whole fear and anxiety about being sold to, which is people's convincer models and stories and stuff that goes so deep, changes and shifts. And so now all of a sudden they're thinking, well, actually, yeah, my next door neighbor or my mother-in-law or my auntie or my cousin or my this or my that. And so we're not diluting the power of the technology, but we're asking them to get out of their own way. Actually, this was essentially what you're indirectly doing. And we could play with a few of these strategies and just see what lands, and you're going to find something and you're going to thrive. And that's why I don't send out links, because for me, it's like the black hole.
Yes.
It's like a black hole. They just go into the never, never. And then I'm like, oh man, I spoke to that person 4 weeks ago. I didn't follow up fast enough. And that is where this style of checklist, where you've got, you know, you have 2 or 3 of those printed out, and you would essentially go, all right, I spoke to Dior today. Dior's on my follow-up list for next week. And so, look, there's probably sexier ways to do it, but I'm an 80s baby and I like to print stuff out. So it's finding what works for you and just playing, because once it lands and you get a few yeses and you break the drought, it gets fun, but you've got to break the drought. You've got to break the drought. And it's
Yeah, no, I mean, like I've been giving it my all.
I know
and
you have.
it's
I
been
get it. You're like,
hard work. I mean, like, you know, and we spoke to over 100 people the other day easily, and really in like a lot of interest, and you know, you get a big group around you, you know, and I can hold myself in a big group, I can explain it, I don't have any issues about that. But you don't have anyone coming and saying, I one, but that was because his best friend gave me $200 to sign him up, give him some product straight away, and he was sort of sold. Now that's an issue because now I don't know how to sign him up because she gave me 200 cash. Anyway, that's not a. I'll probably private message you about that because I'm now going to have to figure out when he decides what he wants to do, how I get that in the system.
Shit, no, that's a bit of a shit, isn't it? Okay, so what I would say is, if I was to leave you with anything, because I don't want to leave you hanging, I want to keep kind of give you a suggestion that you can accept or reject for some action steps. Jumping on your follow-up and inviting them to the Thursdays, this Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, you can own it too. If you feel like you've mishmashed it, just own it. Like I do it all the time. I go, look, I don't know how it all works yet. I haven't got it all figured out. All I know that it rocks. Hey, come along to Thursday.
Yeah,
like,
and I do that with the compensation side of it. I say I've never been in direct marketing before, but everything else ticks my boxes. And everybody that I've said that to, and I'll say that I'm learning that, so they're saying, oh, I've done heaps of it, I really understand that. And I go, oh, great, so that's a hurdle I don't have to try and help you get over, because, but I'll actually say everybody that's I've spoken to of that or have signed up, have done, they don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's right. It does work when you own something, when you just say, look, that wasn't my focus, and my focus was to share it.
Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 o'clock Sydney time, which is till 1 o'clock your time, till 5 o'clock your time, I can help you. If you want to book me in, book me in. Just book me in. Book me in. We'll have a three-way chat. Like, just say to people, I don't know too much about it. I'm like 1 month in. Sal's going to have a chat. She's going to be there. She's going to help. She's going to help me and answer any questions that you have. And there's no obligation. Just turn up, see, and we'll just have a conversation with people and just see where it lands. Because there's something that happens when you're in the beginning, you feel like, oh my God, I have to do this. But when you've been doing it for 2 years, you tend to you're moving into a different sphere of influence. It's like, is this the right fit for this person based on the questions that I'm asking? And if it's not, that's fine. If they want to keep telling the story that they're unwell, and they want to keep telling the story, and that's their story and that's their identity, and they're not ready to move past it, it's okay. It's okay.
And that's very real too.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, sometimes we tell too much. We give too much information. We actually don't need to. We just need to say, this is really cool. Do you want to give it a go? Can I get you started today? And most people energetically at a soul level know, yes, this is right for me. And that's what we talk about, the lean in. It's very distinct. You know, when you feel it, it's like Karina and I have played with this when Karina came and visited me. We did a few conversations with people and they did the lean in and we were like, oh shit, it's happening. And it's fun because it feels effortless and it's not work.
Well, my easiest sale was a young man with huge health issues who's on the benefit because he can't work. Awesome guy. And he straight away said, I'm in. Yeah. Right from my first conversation, the first 10 minutes, he said, I've already looked at it and I'm ready to sign up. And I felt like I still had more to give to him.
Yeah. And that's like, the magic of the silence. It's like,
and that was that. I wasn't expecting that, and I was trying to figure out how I could make it cheaper for him, even if I brought it and then I didn't have to pay the $25 or the shipping, you know. And he goes, no, I've got this money saved. I'm going to give it 6 months. Now he has results. He was a pharmaceutical rep.
Okay, so let me just go.
He's gone door knocking, door to door of products.
What I'm intuitively feeling is that you're trying to solve 5 problems in one conversation.
Yeah.
And I get it. but let's go to step 1 first. To stay at step 1, because you're going to step 5 with the people before you've even finished step 1. And so the less is more. We've got to wrap it up because we're running over, but I get it. Let's play with it. Let's have a play. Let's have some fun with it. Let's get a few runs on the board, and then you're going to take this, and I know you're going to effortlessly and elegantly make it your own. But there is a process in unlearning, and it took me over 12 months, just quietly. And it was hard. It was really hard. And I felt like I was failing a lot of the time, but we're not, we're just learning. And if it took Steve and Gina 5 years, it'll take me 3.
No, and it is. The more people you talk to, you refine your what you say. And I really found doing the trade show was great, because I realized what I wasn't saying right and people weren't, so that was really huge learning curve.
Yeah, and you're doing amazing. Like, seriously, don't give yourself a pat on the back for how far you have come.
Yeah.
Never forget to celebrate the progress. You put yourself out there at all these fairs. Karina taught me that, by the way. Because sometimes we want to rush on to the next thing instead of the pause in between the sentence and just go, wow, I did that. I actually rocked up and I got out of my comfort zone, and now I'm tweaking or evaluating. I like that word better than tweaking. Sounds weird. I'm evaluating, and I'm learning and I'm growing. So I love you all. And if you need help, go to your next active upline. If that's me, great. If it's not, doesn't matter. If you resonate with someone in the group, connect. But seriously, let's just 2 seconds. I just want you to imagine what it's going to feel like. And there's 2 distinct visual memories that I create for myself. And one is under the waterfall, thanks to that idea. And the other one is at the departures gate. And we're all standing at the Sydney departures gate or equivalent.
They're screaming
together.
and bugging.
We are. We're looking at each other and we are saying, far out, we actually got there. All of that hard work, those stupid forms that we had to try and understand, and the stretching and the getting uncomfortable and the learning what to say and what not to say. But we're landing, we're here, and it's happening, and we're doing it together, and we get to have deep, soulful conversations about the lives that we're going to impact, one patch at a time. And this is not just about the health side, guys. This is about people feeling like they have a place to belong. And they can be themselves and they can show up. And there's no other business model that can do it. And it just so happens that we're in alignment with one of the sickest cultures at the moment in the world. And so the fact that we get to be part of this growth and do it together, no one's an expert, we're all learning together, make it your own. But we get to stand there in that waterfall, we get to say, shit, it actually happened. I can feel the cold water on my skin, it's nice and warm, I'm wearing beautiful summer clothes, we're laughing, we're giggling, we're having herbal teas, we're walking on the beach, we're in nature, we're celebrating. We've landed, we've arrived, it's yours. Just hold that in your heart. None of my corporate jobs ever brought me on holiday. They just threw you into the ground, make you work harder, do that 80 hours. All right, see you later, alligator. Love you, bless you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thursday, 12:30, plug in.
Thanks, everyone.
I put the flyer in there too.
Oh, you rock.
Thanks, Sal.